Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, today we pay special tribute to Honoree Master Sergeant Paul J. Loe on the occasion of his retirement from the United States Air Force. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given cues to stand or be seated at the appropriate times. As a reminder, during the national anthem, military members should stand at attention, and civilian guests should place their right hand over their heart. We are honored to have with us as our presiding official for today's ceremony, Lt.Col Brian P. Collins, Command Center Director, NORAD, and U.S. NORTHCOM Current Operations Center. Sharing this special occasion today are many family and friends and fellow airmen. We are extremely honored to have in attendance Master Sergeant Loe's family, which include his spouse, MSgt Loe, his children, Brianne and Eric Loe, his father, Joseph Loe, and girlfriend, Miriam Conagra, and his mother-in-law and father-in-law, Michael and Mary Riggs. Master Sergeant Loe would also like to welcome our special guest, Lt.Col K. Hassan, Commander, 97th Operations Support Squadron. Lt.Col Ben Shaw, Director of Operations, 97th Operations Support Squadron. Chief Master Sergeant Michael Molson, Superintendent, 97th Operations Support Squadron. And Master Sergeant Shane Campbell, First Sergeant, 97th Operations Support Squadron. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the entrance of the official party and the parade of the national anthem. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the presiding official of today's ceremony, Lt.Col Collins.
All right. Thank you. No, I won't want your claps. I got to eat this first. I'll take that. All right, guys. Welcome and thank you for today's ceremony. I'll be honest with you, this may take a few minutes, but I think we should all be okay with that. Over 24 years of service to this country, I believe it deserves the proper amount of time and respect to honor that. So although I'll be the last guy who will brag about his accomplishments, because he's probably one of the humble guys that I know, I'll do that for him. So please bear with me. I'll try to keep you awake. I'm really not good at telling jokes if you ask my wife, but I'll sure do my best to keep you alive, all right? So to start things off, Paul, I want to say thank you, first of all, for this honor, this privilege. I know this decision wasn't taken lightly in terms of who you asked to come out here. You had a lot of other people you could pick from, and you chose me. And the fact that I made a rule to myself that I would never come back here unless it was to fly my aircraft again, it tells you how much I love you. So I broke that rule. I also want to say thanks to Angie, Eric, and Brianne. You guys are his rock. We all know that. You're his foundation. I happen to have my own family and still do, of course. We've never made this far without you guys. He'll say the same thing. He'll probably cry when he does it, so I'll do it now on his behalf. So thank you for all your love and support. All of this uniform is great. We have no idea what stands behind it sometimes. It's they're easy to talk about. For the rest of the family who's here, all in-laws, fathers, mothers, everyone, thank y'all so much for making it today. Especially thanks for y'all's service, for both of you gentlemen. Thank you for your time and dedication to the Air Force and Army. All of us are service members out there, very small percentage to serve, and I know both of you have a very strong influence on the man he's become in terms of his character, his passion, and his care for others. So it's a testament to y'all's mentorship as well as parenting. Okay, so again, I've already talked about the career accolades I'll have to go through. It's quite extensive in 24 years. What I will not do is use these crazy technical terms that are mentioned in some of these EPRs. Let me give you a couple brief examples that I looked at and had to smile about briefly. First one, you will not hear laser beam salometer. You will not hear solar optical observing network. You will also not hear digital ionosphere sounding system. Because not only do they sound really confusing, they sound made up. And for all the people who have written EPRs, awards, we all know we tend to elaborate quite extensively, especially with acronym soup. So you aren't going to hear anything about that. What I would ask you to listen out for, though, is some common themes. I found 5 as looking through his EPRs, as well as a person that I know. 5 that I picked out distinctly are his accomplishments throughout his 24 years of service. So please see if you can pick those out as well. Don't worry, there will be a test at the end, and all those who fail don't get cake. All right, so for his assignments, like most good airmen do, starts off basic training, goes out to Keyser for tech school, becomes a METNAV apprentice. So I will explain what that means, as well as what it has meant for the majority of his career. Meteorological and navigation systems, okay, what the heck is that? You might hear terms like ATCALs. Basically what it means, I'm probably the best guy to describe in layman's terms because I'm the one who uses it as a pilot and everything he touches out in the airfield. So when I'm flying through clouds, through nighttime, whatever it is, to find the airfield, I need navigation aids. Something that points me in the right direction back to home. Not only to take off, but more importantly, to get my aircraft safely back on the ground. If there's clouds, I need a precision guidance system that brings me on the right angle, so when I pop out through those clouds, I can land the aircraft safely. I need weather reporting systems that tells me the winds, the ceilings, the temperature, the barometric pressure. I need all of these tools to include lights, landing at nighttime, something as simple as that. So all these things were monitored throughout his entire career. Things that I know I appreciate, Colonel Hassan appreciates, any pilot in the room, we better love these people because without them, pretty sure we'll be a burning hole in the ground somewhere. Okay? All right, so that's when he starts out. He goes to Randolph Air Force Base for his first assignment. Most young airmen spend time in the room eating Cheetos and Xbox. But apparently in his case, he probably would Atari or Commodore 64. Is that right? Okay. So instead of going back and doing those type of things and becoming a vegetable, Paul gets out and about and does his job in a superior manner. All those systems that I talked about, over 700 corrections, whether it be fixes, upgrades, to all those various pieces of equipment throughout his time there. And for a guy who's been out and about in the clouds, running low on gas, maybe with emergency procedure, I need to, that's really good to know there's a person like Paul on the ground who's going to fix it in less than 10 seconds so I can get my butt on the ground safely, so including the troops I have in the back of the aircraft. So critical there. Frequently was recognized in his EPRs as having the experience level, the knowledge, professionalism, well above his terms of his age, as well as his expertise. Consistently high marks in all those categories. So awesome work there. Also finished off a CCAF, his associate's degree, so let's keep going with education, things that make us smarter. I'll be honest with you, I think in the Air Force we focus a little too much on just the job. Let's focus on the individual. Let's get them smarter to benefit them and society when they do choose to get out, even if it may be 24 years later. Okay? All right, so the one thing you'll see consistently amongst Paul is I guess he gets really bored at work because that's not enough for him. He tends to get out and about and do things quite often. So in addition to joining pretty much every squadron intramural program there was known to man, he's also served as a softball head coach. Surprise, you'll see that as well again frequently. Habitat for Humanity, as well as a frequent participant in squadron fundraisers. For anybody who knows me, you know one of my heartfelt things that I value the most is bringing the Air Force, making it a family. It's tough to do that when all you do is care about turning wrenches on the aircraft. You got to think about the people behind that. And Paul's participation throughout the years in terms of bringing family involvement into the squadron, into the unit, really makes a better culture and better environment in the Air Force. At least that's my belief. So all these things considered pretty highly effective in all shapes and forms. But let's not overshadow the one most important thing that happened during his time at Randolph, which is meeting the love of his life, and future bride Angie. Obviously the best decision is probably made, if you all agree on that one. But also they were blessed with their first child, Grant. So as the Loe family started to get larger and larger and things started to come together, once again bringing that Air Force family back to life, it's just fantastic to see that development. So after Randolph, based on his hard work, we'll assume that's the case, he does go off his next assignment. It's a pretty sweet deal. heads off to his next assignment in Lt.Col, England. If anybody's ever been to England, it's a pretty awesome place to be. They speak English, right? They have a lot of beer, right? So they have a lot of good stuff to go see and do. However, he doesn't get distracted by those things. Of course, he hits the ground running as always and is consistently handpicked out to do really high important things that, again, more senior guys would normally be chosen to do. So one of those things was he's sent on a couple TDYs, one down to Estonia to work with NATO, which is our North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is directly a response to Russian aggression over the border. It doesn't matter how long ago you look, the Cold War back to today, it's always been there for a reason. Went down there to do some key work in his specialty field. In addition to that, was tasked to go down to Morón Air Base down in Spain. I've been there. It's not very pretty, but it's nonetheless a base we use. They had a problem consistently they could not fix. They bring the expert, Paul, and a few other personnel down there, and they get it fixed immediately. Again, so guys like me can get the airfield and keep the mission done. So again, good work in all shapes and forms. There's no surprise that while he's there, he depends on staff sergeant, becomes a non-commissioned officer, and wins NCO of the quarter and collects that accolade, amongst many more that you will hear during this conversation. Again, I guess he gets bored of this job as always. He's looking for more and more work to do. What else can I do in the community? Coach of the squadron soccer team, local British league. He raised over $10,000 for both local as well as international fundraisers, to include such things as tsunami relief victims, Chernobyl kids that were involved in that disaster, some organizations for that. Also a volunteer for Special Olympics. So again, kind of all over the map as young airmen, which it's hard to get those kids out from their Xboxes these days. But a guy like Paul, that's the first thing that comes to mind. The biggest thing that stood out to me that entire that assignment was he was directly involved in saving an airman's life. All right, airman has some issues, psychological, suicidal ideations. Paul recognized that, got him the help he needed, and saved an airman's life. Too often in the Air Force, we throw out $1 million here and 1,000 people here. In that case, the number one meant more than anything else at the time. All right, so let's not too distracted by numbers sometimes, and realize the impact of one single event outweighs everything else. So again, fantastic work, and a trend you will see later on as well. So usually, I almost forgot one thing. Something else happened while he was there. Oh yeah, here. That's what it was. Almost forgot, right? So again, now the Loe family is finally complete. They're finally all together. What else is, well, we already had a squee gig in Lt.Col. Of course the Air Force is going to send us to a really awful location because that's kind of what they do, right? Get a squee gig followed by a bag gig. Well, apparently not the case for Paul. They must have confused with someone else because they decided to send him to Australia. All right, I'm not going to try to pronounce the field because even Paul couldn't pronounce where he was at when I asked him earlier today. So we're going to ignore that piece of it. Slight criticism. But anyways, goes to Australia. When I asked Paul, hey, what's your favorite location for family? He didn't even hesitate. He's like, Australia. That's what he said. And Angie's agreeing. I do remember the fly stories, which grossed Melissa out. But however, Australia is an awesome location. I'm not sure if you can still remember out there a boomerang or not. But a couple of the unique things they do down there. I'm not sure if anybody's ever seen the movie The Right Stuff. Probably the older heads in the room had. But one of the two organizations he supported directly was NASA, number one, which is pretty intense, but also NORAD was in there. And that's actually where I work right now. Okay, so I totally understand when I read the bullet, I'm like, yep, I understand exactly what that's talking about. For NASA, so not only just worrying about national security, international relations, but also talking about just the field of science and how they expand. He supported equipment that included things that also feed weather and communication systems up to space and beyond. That's about as technical as I'm going to get. I'm not a Star Trekkie. So there you go. But anyone's point there, why is there continue to excel, was consistently recognized once again, NCO of the quarter ×2, and NCO of the year for his unit. So phenomenal work. But again, this is in a different continent, no reason to change who he is. Gets bored with work once again, you see a theme there, bored with work. Decides to go somewhere else and just stretch him out a little bit more. So there's a president of a local youth gymnastics program. Once again, coach of another football, in this case a football league. And what I liked the most was he's a volunteer firefighter. So I actually have to dig a little deeper to find out what those stories consist of. But,
oh no, please don't.
but I guess when you're in Australia, what else do you do, right?
That's for another day.
Yes. I can only imagine the fires you started. Put out. So anyway, so now we're talking, now like, okay, 2 sweet gigs in a row, right? No one gets lucky 3 times in a row. Surely here comes Iceland, or actually Iceland would be good. It's like Greenland, or some really bad place in North Dakota, or somewhere like that. No, Paul, he rolls 7s and he gets Germany. All right, so lesson learned here, if you go to Vegas next time or buy a lottery ticket, just take Paul with you when you go. Apparently he brings all the luck alongside of him. So heads out to Germany. Once again, it's consistently recognized in terms of ability to be a phenomenal non-commissioned officer. It's recognized on a quarterly award as well as given airmen being charged of direct supervision. That's a big step. When people start trusting you with 83 airmen at that point, that means they really trust your leadership. They trust who you are, you're going to take care of them. At least I know that in my command, this is absolutely what I demanded of them. And Paul obviously was up to that challenge without any issues whatsoever. However, of course, what else continues to happen? I asked about what else about that assignment, what else was good about it. He's like, well, it's my #1 professional growth assignment I had. I learned the most there as a professional NCO. I think he might have misunderstood what he meant by that, because I think what Paul was trying to say is I became a fine connoisseur of German beer, schnitzel, and the proper wear of lederhosen. All right, so, but not exactly what I wanted, but however, he did continue to excel, and obviously the accolades reflect that. Again, continue to volunteer off base. This is going on for years about this. He raised over $78,000 for Women Warriors, part of the organization. Coached another youth soccer league, the Airmen Against Drunk Driving Volunteer. No surprise whatsoever, he won the award for Squadron Volunteer of the Year. All right, finally, probably too late in my opinion. He probably should have recognized a lot earlier than that for winning such an award. The last thing is, in this case, the surprise factor to me, again, I need to do some more digging on this one, but he started an AFN, so Armed Forces Network advertisement. So apparently we're the presence of stardom here, celebrity status. Not quite sure what Paul said on that advertisement, but I'm sure it was exciting. This kid, brother. All right. So lastly, finally we had all your fun. I think the Air Force finally realizes, oh, Paul Loe, dude, you're done. You're going out. All right. now we found you. You've dodged us long enough. So heads out to Altus. And by the way, I can joke as much as I want because I was stationed here and I'm back here for like the 8th time at this point in my career for a TUI or leave. So whatever. I can talk about as much as I choose to. He did obviously talk about, he also mentioned this place is his best opportunity for professional growth. That was apparent in terms of now he's a senior NCO, he's a master sergeant, he was a first sergeant, he was a superintendent. So and anybody who doesn't know what that means in military terms, it means he's in charge of a whole lot of people. Not just administrative, but also the love, care, and feeding those individuals. Specifically, while he's under my command, that was one of his charges as well. Speaking of that, this is actually the first time that we actually joined up, and God blessed me with meeting Paul Loe. As one of my master sergeants, I leaned on him heavily, never failed me, was always there to back me up, filled in when I needed to for critical situations, to include yet another suicidal ideation issue we had. I asked Paul for help, not a blink of an eye, he was there 5 seconds later. All right, Airman is still okay. Well, the individual is okay to this day, and that's all benefit to not just people like Paul, but everyone like him. We, again, focus on the mission a little too much and we push too hard sometimes. We need individuals to realize what's truly important. And what I love about Paul is that's what he always focuses on. All right? He gets the mission done, but he doesn't lose sight of what the bigger picture is. Okay? So on top of all that stuff, though, finished off his bachelor's degree. If anyone doesn't realize what a master sergeant doesn't need a bachelor's degree. We don't demand that of him, but he demands it of himself. He pushes himself, whether it be athletically, physically, mentally, professionally, it doesn't matter. He gets bored and he pushes himself even harder. So he got that degree and knocked that thing out. All right, so the last thing is what ties it all together is I got 3 boys. They're not the easiest of boys. Well, one of them is. I won't say who that is. But he got one of them, and yet again, coach of a youth soccer league. And I tell you, you can learn a lot about airmen by working alongside them, whether you turning wrenches, flying aircraft, whatever else. But you don't really know somebody until you see them in civilian clothes dealing with a herd of cats with a bunch of 10-year-olds. Right? Y'all don't want to see me in that environment because you're probably like, wow, this guy's a horrible person. All right? So sitting on the sidelines, watching Paul relate to these kids, watching them motivate them, watching them inspire them. They're actually listening. I mean, I've coached probably, I don't know, 15 leagues, baseball, basketball, you name it, and kids never listen to me. All right? They just do whatever and just keep walking on. These kids loved him, and that was apparent when they won their last game, right? Their version of their championship game, and got to dunk one of the head with some Gatorade. I mean, dude, it touched my heart, and it made me realize, man, I need to work on my coaching skills quite significantly. So he set the bar for me there, but again, just kind of going offside the military track, just looking at the person who he really was. That's something he loved to do, and he absolutely excels at it. Right? So here we are. Today, finishing off this long years of service. So some themes I pointed out earlier, I had 5 of them total. And we're almost done, so sorry about that. The cake's not getting stale just yet. First one, the theme I got was love of this country. No one serves for over 24 years in uniform with all the good and the bad unless they truly love their service and the uniform and the airmen stand next to them. All right? Number 2, love of his job. Work ethic, his accolades, his promotions, positions he was put in charge of, responsibility. Clearly a love there as well. 3rd, love of his airmen. We talked about the couple of severe cases we had to deal with in terms of suicidal ideations. but also his mentoring, his coaching, both on and off the field, if you will, all aspects. Definitely loves his fellow air. Fourth, love his community. My God, did y'all not catch up on that theme, right? Volunteer this, volunteer that, coach about 12 different things at once. One day I'll be as talented as that, but probably not. So definitely gave back to his community, never was focused just on his own self. But lastly, which could never be captured inside of any EPR, which I know to shadow of a doubt, doubt my mind, his number one important thing to him is his family. That is something we cannot capture in the declaration, we cannot capture in kind of, but that's why I'm here today to tell you personally. His love for his kiddos, his love for his wife, his family, is beyond reproach. All right, and that's something we always need to remember about in terms of our own family. Then we're all said and done. I can wear this uniform as long as I want, but when I hang it up in the closet, if there's no family in that house with me, what was it for? All right, so that's something we always need to remember. In some cases, we need to give him back. So it kills me to lose him in the Air Force. At some point, we have to release him back to Angie and the kids. We get that. He's earned that right. He's going to go off and do great things. He's already gotten hired by the Altus High School as a girls soccer coach. He's also teaching classes there already. Once he gets done with his teaching certifications, he'll teach even more classes, hopefully including amongst the math and science domain. So yeah, he's staying in Altus. Why would you do that? Well, because again, he's a family guy. Looking at Eric. It's not their fault or anything, but he wants to make sure Eric can stay in high school. Eric's excelling there as well as Brand did. He wants to make sure that everyone is set up, his family is taken care of. And then when Eric's gone, sure, they'll disappear. You'll probably never see him again. But other than that. But the good thing that makes me feel better and touches my heart, just to wrap things up, is the fact that it doesn't matter if you're wearing a uniform. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're a local leader, on that girls coaching team, coaching the soccer team, as a teacher, he is mentoring. These are the things he's qualified at, definitely an expert at. Mentorship, talking through ethics, whether he's just guiding them and molding them, the next generation of people who will lead our country. That's a pretty significant thing. Something, again, that can't be broken down to a number or a statistic, but something we know all to be true. So again, Paul, thank you again for your service. Thank you for being a superior airman, a superior friend to me and my family, and Angie and the kiddos, especially Eric, who's watching my kids for a few years. I know that was a big challenge there. Thank you all for what you've done. And hopefully Paul will be able to get that out too here in a second. But having said all that, thank you for your time, thank you for your attendance, enjoy the cake. Hopefully I kept you somewhat entertained. And if you'll please, I know it's not a singer, but just join me in not clapping for me, but let's clap one more time for Sergeant Lowe.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Collins. Lieutenant Colonel Collins will now direct the publishing of the retirement order.
Publish the order.
Attention to order. Special order number 009932, dated March 13, 2018. Master Sergeant Paul J. Loe, Altus Air Force Base, Oklahoma, effective February 28, 2019. You are relieved from active duty, organization and station of assignment, retired effective March 1st, 2019, per AFI 363203, in the grade of Master Sergeant, by order of the Secretary of the Air Force.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, Master Sergeant Loe will now be presented with a certificate of retirement from the Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force and the Commander of 97th Air Mobility Wing. It reads, Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these present. Greetings. This is to certify that Master Sergeant Paul J. Loe, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of March, year 2019. Signed, Eric A. Carney, Colonel, Commander of 97th Air Mobility Wing, and General David L. Gofield, General Chief of Staff of the Air Force. Woo! All right. Master Sergeant Loe, we are also pleased to present you with a Presidential Certificate of Appreciation, which reads, Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Master Sergeant Lt.Col Loe. I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation, grateful nation, for your contributions of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. Sergeant Loe, we would also like to present you the Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. It reads, Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. I am proud to join you, your friends and family, in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Paul J. Loe, the achievements and contributions you have made throughout your career are indicative of the core values of our great service. Your retirement is well-deserved, but your selfless contribution will be sorely missed. On behalf of all airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes and a new one begins, I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success. Signed, Lt.Col Wright, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. At this time, we would like to invite MSgt Loe to please come forward for the retirement pin presentation. The retirement pin is presented at the retirement ceremony to signify membership in an elite organization of men and women that have served the United States Air Force and their country with pride, honor, and distinction in wartime and peace. We would now like to present Mrs. Loe with the Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and the Commander, 97th Air Mobility Wing. It reads, Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Mrs. MSgt Loe for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Given the first day of March 2019, signed Eric A. Carney, Colonel, Commander, 97th Air Mobility Wing, and General David L. Goldfein, General, Chief of Staff of the Air Force. All right. We will now present the Certificate of Appreciation from Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. It reads, on behalf of all Air Force airmen and their families, the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force presents this Certificate of Appreciation to Mrs. MSgt Loe. I join your spouse, family, and friends in thanking you for the numerous contributions and sacrifices you made in support of our United States Air Force. Your dedication gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service in defense of our nation. Given this first day of March 2019, Lt.Col Wright, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Collins. Now present Sergeant Loe with the shadow box.
Don't have a whole lot of things to say, but on On behalf of the Raj Shop and the Air Force, this is your shadow box encompassing your career, trying to. And I didn't really have anything prepared to say, but I just wanted to say, Sergeant Loe, been here for 4 years, and I think when I first got here, I don't know about the airmen or Sergeant White, but Sergeant Loe's kind of hard to read sometimes. Kind of has like the face where it's like, I don't know if he's mad or not. But I think once we got to know each other, I truly consider you a friend. You've been there for me, especially during times that you know I was having problems, right? And you got me through it. So, and hopefully I'm not here for as long as you say I will be. If there's somebody that my daughter, who's only 10, would have to see in high school and be coached by, I'd be proud if it was you.
And kind of angle it down so the lights don't catch on it.
Thank you, Technical Sergeant Oliver. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the folding of the flag by Senior Airman Gina Hazelton and A1C Trevor Wilder. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, white signifies purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally, a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle our globe, and on the tail flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our U.S. Air Force, not on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive pole, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we as Americans enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it wave. Thank you, Airman Hamilton and Airman Wiley. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you for the first time Master Sergeant Lt.Col Loe, United States Air Force, retired.
Thank you, everyone. First, not least, I want to thank Colonel Collins. He means the world here. I thank everyone else being here, also my dad, Miriam, other dad and mom, Colonel Madison, Chief Malzone, Sergeant Campbell, Sergio, Daniel, everyone that did things in the ceremony of certain exhibits. I appreciate everything you put into this. Hazelton, Wiley, thank you. Jones, Callahan, Garcia, Sergeant Ball, appreciate you stopping by. So, thank you. I mean, it's been, I remember probably 25 years ago by now, the first time I went to the recruiter. He's like, well, you want to sign up for 4 years or 6 years? I'm like, well, I don't know if I like this gig. I'm just doing 4 years. And then the next thing you know, re-enlisted. As it got to that point in 4 years, I'm like, well, I could get out, but what do I do? I felt like I hadn't learned anything yet. I didn't have any skills. Everyone told me the FAA, the hiring was slow, and it wasn't an option. So I just kept going, and I re-enlisted for 6 at that point. And at 10 years, I'm like, well, I'm halfway through. I might as well keep going now. And plus, I kept getting gigs. I had England, and Australia, Germany. And I think Colonel Collins didn't mention is my 3-month TDY to Morón, Spain was 2 weeks after September 11th. Everyone else, when we're out in the process, and everyone's like, you're going to Spain, I'm going to Afghanistan. I'm like, oh, hey, I didn't do it. Don't get mad at me. So here I am down in Spain with a rental car for 3 months while everyone else is off to fight the real war. But it was an experience, and I have learned so much in the Air Force. I have so many people at each assignment that I should thank, and I just won't remember everyone, but there's many people I've appreciated. Also, Sergeant Oliver, the shadow box, I appreciate that. Looks awesome. But there's been 3 people that have made the difference today. I could not have done this. Been there for me every time I need to leave. And when we went places, you weren't really fully invested in going. But thank you. Dad, it's crazy what's happening. It is. I'm still thankful that I've had you here with me. Last is Eric. He doesn't get flowers. So Eric got thought, well, what do I give him, you know? Flowers are easy for my wife and Brianne. That's the normal stereotypical shit. And I thought, what about Air Force gifts or something? But I thought the one thing that he probably wanted more than anything that you would use would be a gift card to Hollister.
Be careful, they might have put a box of flowers there.
So, once again, I just want to thank everyone for coming here. I appreciate it, and it's been a great 24 years, and I'm just very thankful that I was able to do this. So, thank you all.
Thank you, Sergeant Loe. Sergeant Loe, the men and women of the United States Air Force are proud to have served with you. Your knowledge, wisdom, dedication, and friendship will be sorely missed by all. We wish you well as you begin your new chapter in your life. Lt.Col Collins invites everyone to join him in congratulating Master Sergeant Loe and his family for their many contributions to the defense of our country. Light refreshments will be served in the saloon. Please stand and remain standing for the playing of the Air Force song, followed by the departure of the official party.